Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and I am back. Sorry for the delay, had a little audio equipment failure and some other issues going on. Besides being extremely under the weather, I've been a little busy with work, and then somebody broke into my house. That was a mistake. No, literally, they just entered the wrong house. They got to see my pistol, though. And then somebody at a fast food drive-thru stole my credit card. And, you know what? Everybody involved in everything that screwed with me recently has paid dearly, so, now let's make some YouTube videos. Sorry if the audio sounds a little bit weird. Still getting the amplification dialed in, and it finally has limited dynamic range compression. Also known as non-adjustable dynamic range compression. Allegedly. You know what? Until I get this right, we're getting ASMR quiet. Which is ironic because it's a really, angering story, but hey. So I don't have comparative numbers here, but Troll and Toad has always been considered to be that one fringe one that some people use, I guess. Instead of Card Kingdom Channel Fireball or eBay or TCG Player, which is just owned by eBay as of recently. Go watch my video on that if that's news. But Troll and Toad has been selling Magic cards since '94. So you know what channel you're watching at this point, but if you're new here, I guess I'll explain it. What am I going to address if you had to guess? What is their stated reason, and is it remotely true or not? So, reason number one, stated directly from the owner, Ben Burns. It's not as profitable as it used to be. Yeah, that checks out. With every number, every benchmark, every type of way to measure it, yeah, I can confirm that. And they sell other TCGs, that's why it's not called Magic something whatever.com. And it makes sense. If a product line isn't working, you go somewhere else. Remember, I closed my shop. Now, I'm not reaching here. He specifically said Pokemon TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, and One Piece. Didn't even know that existed. We're all doing better. So another reason stated was that it's the constant reprinting of valuable cards and the number of variants of these cards. Those are two very different things that shouldn't even be in the same sentence, so let's break it down. I guess I'll start with the latter, because I already covered it very heavily in the Cardsphere video. I don't know if I'll make a whole video on this, I might, but Cardsphere found a buyer. I know, shocking, I told you they would. And no, it's not me. I actually don't know who it is, I haven't read the article yet. But good, because that concept is amazing and it's fundamentally sound. I said multiple times, multiple different ways, and provided evidence for why I think they ran it wrong. I think they went about it all wrong. Hey, new people. Depending upon who you are and what your history is, I'm open to sponsorships. Dirt cheap, baby. I'll start at zero and go commission. Let's go. Anyway, yeah, they just got buried by trying to add the new cards, because instead of adding 280 cards and then hitting the foil button, you've got serialized alternate frame, Japanese, but actual Japanese ones, and then you've got, weird reprints, because every standard set has to be a mini-masters now. You're looking at upwards of 1,000+ cards. And you've got to program them in and figure out a price. That is quadruple the staff time. And staff time is incredibly expensive. I would dare say it's likely the number one expense at some of these companies. So yeah, the complexity, the fragmentation, and the confusion on price, people could almost game it at this point. It's like back in the Wild West of crypto, where you could just go to one exchange and go to another one and be like, wait, that coin is worth a completely different amount here. I could just buy it here, transfer it, sell it here, and make 1%. And then people just wrote bots to do it. You could say, hey, there's a serialized card that's, whatever, with the One Ring over on eBay for this, but then it's selling here for this, but then there's a buy list for this, and if I got it here, it's this. So I could just buy it here and sell it straight on eBay. Because how do you determine the price of number 714 out of 900? You just can't. It was just stupid. So let's get back to the first reason, which is valuable cards being reprinted. This is where I jump off the train a little bit. Now, he does cite the example of, hey, sometimes we'll be in the process of buy listing something. We approved it, it's been submitted, it's in the mail. We haven't received or sorted it yet or whatever happened, and now we have effectively bought it at a loss because it was just announced as a reprint. And that's really rare. Just mathematically, from a percentage of the time, and just the volume of cards coming in, nah. But here's how this is supposed to work, okay? people who are holding a fairly significant amount of cards, not like a stupid investor, crazy, diamond-handed lunatic, operation, like an actual, we're a rotating door of buying and selling stuff, like we keep 50 in stock, not 5,000 of a card, So, $50 card, they announce it's being reprinted, it drops to $20. You own 20 of them as so-and-so, Joe's card business. Oh no, you just lost $600. How are you ever going to make that up? Well, one, just count your money with the other 99% of cards in stock that were unaffected by the reprint, even a Masters set. And then two, make an absolute wheelbarrow full of money selling the Masters set. From what I've heard, if you sell the right kind of volume, you get the right connections and, can move 1,000+ boxes. Back in my day, I'd get them for like $140 and sell them for like $240 to $300. Oh no, however are you going to make up the money for that $600? Now the problem arises if you're getting in tons and tons and tons of cards and you're like, oh, but we can hold them. We don't need to move them. They're only going to go up. Let's go a little bit higher than our competition. I'm not saying I have any kind of evidence that they're doing that. I'm just saying if you did that, you are setting yourself up for disaster. So why isn't the amount of money coming in from the reprints making up for it? And the answer is because it's not master sets. They're putting reprints inside of standard sets, and even those aren't selling very well, which lowers the price, which effectively lowers the value of what you're pulling in it. So let's just go back to Strixhaven and the Mystic Archives. Strixhaven didn't sell very well, so all the cards that were on the Mystic Archives, like little miniature Masters reprint list, it was one per pack. And they were fancy schmancy art, so they should be worth more than, I wouldn't say the originals, but some of the reprints even then. And they drove the prices so low without any kind of benefit. And that's a nightmare. I guess WotC didn't consider that when they decided to do that. They've been doing this for 5 years. It's a Chris Cox thing. It's the fallout from Hasbro breathing down their neck and Chris Cox wanting to make numbers look really good really quick so he could get a promotion. And he did. Allegedly, that's how that went down. So they decided, let's just burn the game down, do tons of damage to make our numbers look good right now. Because Hasbro wants mountains of money and we're publicly traded. And the stockholders will just pull $3 billion out from under us, roughly, if we start performing poorly, because there are other places you could go. Lithium, renewable energy tech, AI, everybody's throwing their money at AI. So they're taking out, dinosaur stuff like Disney. Oh, what, you make movies? Nobody watches TV. Nobody goes to theaters. Call me when you can generate an entire kids game with AI and then put it on the web. So, a paper card game? Oh, you sell G.I. Joe and Barbie dolls? They're watching for the income to go down 1%. So what do? You got to say, hey, look how strong we are. We know what we're doing. We're something special. We've been around forever. How is this card game going for 30 years? Just keep throwing us money. You don't have to know. That's what they want the investors to do. I've read every single quarterly report. So what did they do? Reprint everything to death. Variants, special variants, extended art, borderless, stuff that looks like 50s monster movie posters, constantly just selling you 5 singles at a time for $30. And they're running out of cards to reprint. It took them, I think 4 sets maybe, to run out of Masters cards to reprint. They even said there's, to summarize, nothing left of value, nothing worthwhile. People don't want to open like an $8 card is pretty much what they said. Well, now they're putting a Masters set in every damn set, Nobody wants to draft because these external cards are ruining drafts. It's not just Bomb Rare Bomb Mythic wins the draft. Now it's Bomb Rare Bomb Mythic or Bomb card completely not from the set at all. That's just a $10 reprint that's overpowered as hell. But WotC wanted to prop up the value. You can only do that for so long. What did they do? Well, instead of ultra rare, let's go ultra rare and make, 1 out of 500. Wow. 2 out of 500, 3 out of 500 serialized. So now everything's literally just a lottery. It's awful what they're doing. And then, our numbers will look really good for a little while if we directly compete with all the stores by directly selling on Amazon ourselves. How'd that work out for you? How many stores are left? Now there's nowhere to play. They made these decisions knowing this will make the numbers look good for a couple years, and then the repercussions are coming. And now they have backed themselves into such a corner that the game is just going to die. It's just as simple as that. Now, they're a little big to just die. They're not like every other TCG where it shows up, big flash in the pan, and then it's gone. Because once people start losing interest, they move on to the next thing, and you don't have sustainability, and they get a little bit tired, a little bit wallet fatigued, a little bit whatever, they're gone. I mean, look at Keyforge. Look at DBZ. Look at Final Fantasy. So 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, that's just an excuse and he's wrong. They're just getting out of it for another reason. Like, for example, their garbage political takes, which will sink any company because welcome to 2023, where we're not going to put up with your crap anymore. Sincerely, everybody who's not a brainwashed liberal idiot. So do I believe him? Yeah. Is it worth the effort? Is it worth the risk? Is it worth the inventory depreciation? No. So what's the rest of the story? Oh, he made some other statements. This is where it gets wild. So they were alarmed in some way, who would have thought, by the Magic 30th anniversary edition, virtual gold bordered crap, where they were reprinting basically reserve list cards. Even though they're, quote, not tournament legal, they're worth hundreds of dollars, allegedly. I think that's being propped up by them and others. And they said they decided to no longer take the risk that WotC may one day just go against the reserve list and just eliminate it. Like, truly, I don't think they'd go that far, but we'll see. I mean, he said in a direct quote, Magic is not profitable enough for our company to continue carrying right now. Singles or sealed, by the way. I should mention that he was saying that. So it's not even profitable to take sealed things in a box off a pallet, put them in another box, slap a label on them, and send them for, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%. That is mind-blowing. I mean, that's like nobody is playing standard, exclamation mark added to the end. Even back when I was selling cards, we're talking 2015 to 2020 in that range. I don't know, something like that. You basically just took the minimums that you knew you could move as singles and just break even on almost every standard set, and then just hold your breath and wait for a master set or a commander set or a special Christmas set or something. That was when everybody made money. I didn't even have to open them and look at the singles and then sort them and sell them day one. I could just sell them exactly as is. It was just a question of like, what's your credit card balance and how much is your, or not the credit card limit, I should say, my balance was always zero, but how much is your distributor willing and able to give to you as opposed to somebody else? What can you convince them to give you as a fraction? And if your name is Rudy, for example, not singling out anybody specifically, but let's just say somebody named Rudy came out and admitted that he just basically bribed them. They just said, hey, we can send you more if you're willing to pay X more per box. And he said, sure. So, I mean, that's bribery in my opinion. Maybe not the legal definition, but pay me more and I'll take them away from a real store and give them to your stupid ass. Sure, yeah, that's shady. I mean, there's no two ways about that. And that's what some people are doing to me. I ordered, I think, 110 boxes of BFZ. And how many bundles, fat packs back then, do you think that they sent me? With the land packs, you get $80 a piece for those $18 bundles. 0. They sent me 0. I was just about the biggest order in the entire state. They must have had some sweetheart deals with someone somewhere. So it's real crooked. I don't think Troll and Toad can say, well, lower our number of standard sets and when there's a Masters 1 just because we're special, send it to us. Why? Why would they do that? Everybody wants Masters sets. Like, who are you, And WotC barely even does Masters sets anymore, which is kind of sad. I think at this point they could barely even get together a Masters set that would be worth selling. I think Double Masters 2 is the last there is. That said, I think they announced a Masters set coming up in that all the way to 2025 roadmap, but let me give you a preview of my roadmap for Magic in 2025 or going up to it. Downward number. Big old slope going down on the income graph. But what about what they're going to do, Des? I don't care what they're going to do because that's what's going to happen no matter what they do. So do I blame them? No. Do I think Channel Fireball, Card Kingdom, or any of them are next? Maybe. Honestly, you shouldn't be supporting any of those stores unless you really like them personally or something. You should just be going on eBay or TCG Player because you get the better deals there. It's just that simple. The big thing on eBay and especially Amazon is reseal scams. And now they just eliminated all returns, which kind of just rips you off, and it's a whole thing. Now, the last most interesting thing he said was that they're looking to potentially in early 2024, I believe is what it was, offload all of their entire Magic singles inventory at a huge discount. Not all to one buyer all at once, to random people on their website, whoever wants to buy something for actual, literal, legitimate clearance prices. I bet they'll just go 20, 30% across the board. Because, after expenses, 20 to 30% is like their entire margin on like buy list stuff. So if they bought a card for 5, and then the labor of, checking it in, sorting it, storing it, climate controlled, insurance, taxes, and then shipping it back out. Okay, but after that, you should make 20% minimum. So I don't think 10% across the board would do it, because 10% off everything at Troll and Toad is just like going to eBay instead and just paying that number. But man, if they go like 50% off and just fire sale this stuff, something that's just mind blowing, like do like a Black Friday thing. Oh boy, that is not going to go well for their competitors, because people are just going to buy every card they'd ever need for Commander all at once, because you'll never see something like this again, people think. And then all the sales are just going to die for like the next couple months at every other vendor. So if you got cards, I would sell them right now. Obviously not to Troll and Toad. And if you want to buy something, I would wait a little bit, because everything's crashing for various reasons, none of which are going to change or get better, it would seem. So good news for you if you like buying cheap singles. I mean, there's always a silver lining. But yeah, wish I had better news, but it is what it is. I will mention that Troll and Toad, they had pulled a sponsorship from Jeremy from the Quartering Now, MTG headquarters at the time. And it was over political nonsense. It was over that whole cosplayer lying and saying she's quitting cosplaying because of him, when really it was just her going to college and getting sick of it and whatever. So she just lied to spread feminist BS and to get sympathy and internet points, and later admitted it. And they dropped sponsorship over that. Despicable and pathetic. And I've never even mentioned their name since then. Refuse to take any kind of sponsorship from them or do any business with them whatsoever, because I won't stand for that. Get Bud Lighted, suckers. Also, I should mention that they've been accused of many times in high-profile cases of allegedly selling sorted, resealed, scaled, weighted, whatever packs, that kind of stuff. Somewhere between running outright scams and not being very thorough. Let's put it that way. That's what they're being accused of. In a small number of cases, it was proven, and the rest, it's just, people posting on the internet and everything in between. So, not one of the most reliable dealers, and I feel like that could be behind this. But man, if I was the best seller in the entire world, I wouldn't want to be selling Magic right now. I'd be counting my pennies and saying, wow, this is going really poorly. Maybe somebody shouldn't have bought Card Sphere. So, well, let me know your stories about Troll and Toad. Did you have a good experience? Did you have a bad experience, or something in between? Or have you never touched them, or what? Leave it down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I've got a ton more videos coming this week because there's crazy stuff going on, and I'll see you guys next time.